Good evening. The Conejo Valley Unified School District Board of Education regular board meeting of December 17th, 2025 will please come to order. Pursuant to the Ralph M. Brown Act, this is a meeting of the Board of Education in public, and only items on the agenda will be discussed this evening. We invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're at item 2C. The board is adjourning from closed session where the following items permitted by law were considered. Item 1B, there was no board action taken on this agenda item. Item 1C, with regard to agenda item 1C, there is no announcement at this time pursuant to Government Code Section 549571, subdivision A5. 1D, with regard to agenda item 1D, there is no announcement at this time pursuant to Government Code Section 549571, subdivision A5. Item 1E, there was no board action taken on this agenda item. Item 1F, Trustee Goldberg made the motion to approve the settlement agreement for case OAH 202-508-0510, seconded by Trustee Gill. Motion carried 5-0. Item 1G, Trustee Sylvester made the motion to approve the settlement agreement for case OAH 202-508-0887, seconded by Trustee Goldberg. Motion carried 4-1. 1H, there was no board action taken on this agenda item. I would now like to welcome everyone to the meeting and would like to make the following announcements. The board values your input on the important education matters we face. Therefore, the district is providing multiple opportunities for public participation. Public viewing is available through an internet live stream on the CVUSD website. Please note the different opportunities to provide public or written comments to the board can be found on the main page of the board agenda. Members of the public wishing to submit a written comment have the option to email their comments to sfelman@conejousd.org by 3 p.m. today. Board members were provided with these written comments prior to this meeting. Persons wishing to address the board in person should fill out a blue speaker's card and hand it to Mrs. Fellman at the secretary's desk. If you wish to speak on a specific agenda item, please turn in your card prior to that item section of the agenda. If the school district business you wish to speak about is not on the agenda, please turn in your card before the public comment section of the agenda. If you intend to donate a time to another speaker, please hand in both speaker cards at the same time to Mrs. Fellman. If you wish to register your concern but not speak at the podium, please fill out a yellow public statement form and turn it in at the secretary's desk. Board members will be provided with these statements after the board meeting. Please be advised that a recording of this meeting is being made and broadcast for our live stream audience, and the recording and broadcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Smoking is not permitted in this building or anywhere on district property. Copies of the agenda are available on the table in the board lobby. Please silence all mobile phones. We're at item 2D. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
President Powell.
Yes, Trustee Goldberg.
I move that we approve the agenda as submitted.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, we will vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sylvester?
Yes.
I am a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. We're now at item 2E, student recognitions. We are there. We have some recognitions tonight from athletes from Westlake High School. I think the order I have is girls tennis, girls cross country, and football. And we'll see what happens. They're coming in. There are some seats here in the front for anybody who wants to have an up-front seat. We don't bite. You can get a great photo without anybody's head in it. Hello, Principal Branham.
Good
Welcome.
evening.
Happy to have you here.
Thank
The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Dr. Powell, board members, Dr. McLaughlin, distinguished staff and guests, we really appreciate you having us here this evening to recognize some amazing athletes, student athletes from Westlake High School and their accomplishments this year. And before we get into that, I just want to wish everybody happy holidays as well. So first and foremost, we'd like to recognize our 2025-2026 individual single girls Marmani League champion in the sport of tennis. This young lady has been a standout in our program for a number of years and really led the way for amazing accomplishments during her time here at Westlake High School. And it's my honor to introduce our head coach, Scott Yasgor, to introduce our student athlete.
Thank you, and I echo also a happy holidays to everybody. I want to introduce Michelle, who's now a junior, 5.0 GPA. She was last year's Ventura County Player of the Year, and as Mr. Branham said, won our individual championship. Did a great job, qualified for CIF individuals, and got to a round of 32. So this is Michelle Shee. Walk up or go out?
You go with her. Go Scott. And once again, I'd like to recognize our head coach, Mr. Scott Yasgor.
Next up is girls cross country.
So once again, happy to be here. This time we get to recognize our 2025-2026 Marmani League champions for girls cross country. Not only were they Marmani League champions, they also finished second in CIF Division II Southern Section and finished fourth in CIF Division II State qualifications. And this team only has one senior, so the future is extremely bright for our girls cross country team moving forward. So we're extremely happy and excited to recognize them this evening. I would like to ask our head coach to please come up and recognize these student athletes. Mr. Troy Burns.
You got him? Okay. All right. Senior Rachel Castagna. Freshman Aria Cinelli. Freshman Anais Cruz. Freshman Sabina Cruz. There you go. Sophomore Amelie Ortiz. Sophomore Lily Saul. And our other senior, Sophie Vaughn.
Sorry, I miscounted by one there. But I would also like to introduce and recognize our coaching staff for our girls cross country team with head coach Troy Burns. Congratulations. Coach Chad Scott. Congratulations. And Coach Gary Richmond. Congratulations.
There are some available seats up closer to the front if you want to come sit.
You can sit in the reserve seats.
Players are going to be here, so kind of maybe you guys scoot around. The players and the coaches are going to be over there. So maybe there's seats over there. If we can like double up, maybe create 2 rows here, that would be awesome. So maybe get 2 rows here. Keep going. Go down the center aisle.
Turn sideways. Breathe in real tight.
If we go down the center aisle, we'll make it. We'll be good. Yeah, we're almost done.
Just got to get a little bit farther, friends, and we've almost got everybody in. Almost there.
All right. So next up, it's my honor and privilege to recognize our 2025-2026 Conejo Coast Football League champions. You know, sitting here a year ago at this time, I don't know if we thought we would be in this position, but for us to be the second team in state history to go from 0-10 to 10-0 is a pretty special accomplishment. The hard work. The hard work that these young men have put in since last January throughout this entire season, and the hard work of our coaching staff led by Mr. Rick Clausen is absolutely amazing. And this accomplishment is something that don't know if we'll ever see again. And just how special the season was on so many different fronts makes tonight that much more special. So it is my honor and privilege to recognize or to call up our head coach, Mr. Rick Clausen, who will introduce all of our players.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate the school board having us tonight. Obviously, it was a heck of a year, and the boys were tremendous. So it's an honor to be up here, and I'll go ahead and get this going. Armana Betty, Julian Alter, Judd Anderson, Ashton Aslan, Preston Aslan, Damani Bell, Liam Bluval, Dylan Bruns, Lucas Kane O'Toole, Charles Caixero, Luke Calloway. Oh.
I gotta see what I got.
They got a lot of things on the agenda. We got to get this thing going.
Hold on. Okay, after.
All right. Miles Carter, Charles Davis, Niles Davis, Tristan Doughton, Kai El Sakari, Logan Ganute, Michael Goff, Gabriel Garoyan, Eric Green, Ford Green, Torsten Groen, Gabriel Gordado, Cody Henderson, Christian Klein, Jeremiah Maddox, Joe Martinez, Barrett McVeigh, Nick Mejia, Ashton Morbitzer, Chase Morton, Jonas Pinkard, Xavier Powell, Julian Ramirez, Owen Rockabrand, Ronan Samudrala, Scott Savage, Christian Stevens, Jack Tasker, Trey Wise, Trevor Zdenek. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up a couple coaches that are here. Kevin Carmichael and Mr. Westlake himself, Mr. Richard Kellman.
Hold on, Rick. Shake my hand, take a certificate. Oh, proper. Yeah. And then once again, I would like to recognize our head coach, Mr. Rick Clausen. Congratulations, sir. I was like, slow down. Sure. So what we're going to have is she can have a meal.
Kind of kneel down a little bit. Gina's got it. There's a lot of elementary class pictures before.
Hold on, wait. We got to get the coach. Hey, players, real quick, just so you guys know, the gentleman right here that's going to be standing on this chair, Dr. Ariza, that's the camera we're looking at, please. I know there's a lot of them, but we're looking at that one right there.
All right, on the second row, you can crouch a little if you're blocking somebody. All right, big smiles, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
They were in a different room.
We're getting set up for our next agenda item, 2F, which is our CVUSD Inclusion Heroes.
You're on an end of a road right. Good evening, Board President Powell, Superintendent McLaughlin, distinguished trustees, and district leadership. On behalf of the Student Services Department, we're so happy to be here tonight to honor our 2025 Inclusion Heroes. We had over 141 nominations, and tonight we're so excited to honor 10 of our winners. I'm Shanda Lee, Director of Special Education, Preschool Elementary. This is Steve Barnes, Director of Special Education Secondary. We have our wonderful special education coordinators tonight. If you guys will just take a couple steps forward over here. They are here with us tonight to celebrate our winners. We have Shana Gretzky, our coordinator of preschool elementary, Michelle Kerrigan, our Westlake cluster coordinator, Amanda Glover, Thousand Oaks cluster, and Tracy Rose, Newbury Park cluster. So we're so happy to have them with us tonight.
All right, so the Inclusion Hero Award is very special to all of us, as this award recognizes individuals who demonstrate a profound passion for ensuring all students, particularly those who have been historically marginalized, are provided equal access and opportunity. Our inclusion heroes are those who tirelessly turn this passion into action by modeling inclusivity in their day-to-day work, and whose efforts are making a real, meaningful difference in the lives of our students. This evening, we are honored to present 10 Inclusion Hero Awards. So to get this party started, we'd like to invite Westlake High School Jason Branham to present the first Inclusion Hero Award of the evening.
Thank you once again for having us up here this evening. You know, when we talk about inclusion, it's just amazing the work that so many are doing across our district for so many students. And at Westlake High School, I am honored to work alongside Mrs. Amy Rolniak. The things that she does on a daily basis is amazing and inspiring, to say the least. So I will read what I'm supposed to read at this point. It is my pleasure to honor and to be here this evening to recognize and honor Mrs. Amy Rolniak as a Conejo Valley Unified School District Inclusion Hero. Mrs. Rolniak has created an exceptionally inclusive and welcoming environment within the Westlake High School Choir program by intentionally designing experiences that meet the unique needs of students in our LEAP program. Her thoughtful approach of utilizing outside supports and specialized resources has ensured that every student has meaningful access to a full and enriching musical experience. Her commitment to inclusion has strengthened individual student growth while elevating the entire choir community with greater empathy, connection, and shared purpose. The power of inclusion is evident each day in the joy, pride, and sense of belonging that her students feel. Mrs. Rolniak's work is making a profound and lasting difference, and we are incredibly proud to recognize her with this honor. If you've ever been to our holiday concert, the very first performance this year, with 3 to 4 songs, I believe, included all of these students in 3 nights of performances. So just absolutely honored and proud and humbled to work alongside this amazing lady, Mrs. Amy Rolniak. Yep, that way, and you'll shake hands.
All right. Our principal of Banyan Elementary will be introducing our next hero.
It is my absolute honor to present Ms. Mindy Hostetter as a 2025 Inclusion Hero. Mindy is an exceptional educator who truly believes in the potential of every single child. And because she holds high expectations, her students consistently rise to meet them. She works tirelessly to ensure that her students meet their goals while also being meaningfully included in every aspect of our Bobcat life at Banyan. Inclusion is not just an add-on for Mindy. It is the foundation of her practice. I consider her more of a cruise director working with her paraprofessionals who are all here cheering her on, and her support providers and everybody else to make sure her kids absolutely achieve to the highest level. She skillfully collaborates with all of us to ensure that every kid has every opportunity they deserve. And I am so proud to call Mindy Hostetter a Bobcat, a colleague, and my friend.
Okay, our principal of Maple Elementary School, Megan Owager, will be presenting our next hero.
We are honored to recognize Annetta as an inclusion hero. As a paraprofessional, Annetta goes out of her way every single day to make sure each student in her classroom feels welcome, valued, and truly cared for. She supports every child, not just those she's assigned to, and she's always eager to learn new things, new strategies, and grow her skills so she can better meet students' needs. When situations become challenging, Annetta consistently steps in with calm, kindness, and compassion, helping her students feel safe and understood. Her presence makes our classroom stronger and more inclusive for everyone. We are incredibly grateful for the heart, dedication, and care that Annetta brings to Maple. Congratulations.
Okay, our Director of Middle Schools, Shane Frank, will be presenting our next hero.
Good evening. I do have the great privilege to recognize Miss Carla DiDemizio, principal of Sequoia Middle School, as our 2025 Inclusion Hero. She has an extraordinary commitment to making sure that every student has a place to belong at Sequoia Middle School, regardless of ability, language, or background. Each child is celebrated and supported. By championing diversity as a strength, Carla has turned inclusive ideas into reality. Most notably, she's established a peer mentoring elective, as well as creating Sequoia's Essentials Life Skills Center. Whether she is addressing unique medical needs or dancing along with students at the end-of-year party, her hands-on leadership style actually brings a high bar to her staff and all those around her. Her tireless advocacy for transforming campus culture by successfully integrating students with special needs into the very heart of her school community. It is with great pleasure that Sequoia has Carla DiDemizio as a leader. She has great dedication, her heart, but most importantly, that school campus is changing because of her leadership. So congratulations, Ms. Carla DiDemizio.
All right, next up, Erica Otreras, our principal of Conejo Academy of Language and Learning, will be presenting our next hero.
Good evening. I'm honored to recognize Kate Scattergood, our first grade DLI teacher. I've had the pleasure of working with Miss Kate for 6 years, and in that time, she has stood out as someone who really seeks opportunities for growth in order to better serve our students. In her classroom, Kate leads with heart, intentionality, creating learning spaces that honor students' language, identities, culture, and their individual needs. She gets to know the students as individuals and their families. She speaks up to protect and affirms their traditions and their beliefs. She is proactive in removing barriers. One example is working with tech support to create bilingual passcodes for our Chromebooks. So that not only makes technology more accessible to our students, but also promotes the goal of our dual language immersion program. Her care, patience, and advocacy creates a classroom where every student feels protected, welcome, and cared for. We are very proud of the work Ms. Kate provides every day in her school.
All right. Next, we have Jason Cheveranda, principal of Madronia Academy of the Arts and Sciences, presenting our next hero.
Good evening. It is my distinct honor tonight to recognize Mariela Avalos, our dedicated bilingual facilitator, with the Inclusion Hero Award. Mariela embodies the spirit of our school community, consistently going the extra mile with a positive attitude and an unwavering commitment to our students. She is a true hero of inclusion, always stepping up to support students in our classrooms, assist with targeted instruction in the Learning Center, and even lending a helpful hand on the playground. Her deep kindness and genuine care for our multilingual learner population shines through in every interaction, ensuring that they feel welcomed, supported, and empowered to learn and grow. Mariela's willingness to help in every capacity makes her an indispensable member of our team, and we are incredibly proud to honor her dedication tonight. Thank you.
Next up, let's welcome Dr. Shane Craven, principal of Aspen Elementary.
Good evening. It is with great pleasure that I present Mrs. Una Gaynor with the honor of being identified as an inclusion hero. Una approaches each day with passion, care, and dedication for all students, families, and staff at Aspen. She goes above and beyond to create a welcoming office environment that promotes acceptance and belonging. Una is the first face you see when entering the Aspen front office, and she greets each and every person with a smile and a warm welcome. She has made it a point to learn every student's name and will greet them by name each time they come through the office. This simple act makes every student feel that they are a valued member of the Aspen family. Una models inclusivity each day, and we are so proud that she is being recognized as an inclusion hero. Congratulations, Una.
Next up, Miss Amber Bowman. Miss Christina Harrison, my apologies, Director of Student Services.
It is my honor to present two inclusion heroes this evening. The first is Mrs. Amber Bowman, who is our Coordinator of Student Support Services and truly embodies inclusion. She ensures that every family, regardless of circumstance, feels seen, supported, and valued. She provides critical assistance to our McKinney-Vento families, to our foster youth, to families affected by immigration enforcement, and families with lower socioeconomic status by connecting them to essential resources, including housing, healthcare, and community support. Through initiatives like the Conejo Closet, our holiday toy giveaway, the backpack giveaway, Amber brings dignity, joy, and relief to families during times of need. She is often the most trusted adult for many students, but more importantly, parents. She is their connection, offering a safe, consistent presence rooted in empathy and respect. Amber intentionally develops strong relationships with our families, taking the time to listen, to understand their needs, and to advocate on their behalf. She navigates the school system and the county systems and our community resources with care and persistence to remove barriers for families and students that might otherwise prevent them from fully engaging in school. Through her quiet, gentle leadership and unwavering commitment, Amber makes inclusion a lived experience for our families and students every day. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start my second Inclusion Hero. I'm so honored to present this Inclusion Hero Award to Catherine Kalev, our lead district nurse. She isn't as well known to you maybe as Amber, but she is with our families and our students every day. And she is a true Inclusion Hero. She also leads with empathy and professionalism, ensuring that every health-related decision centers on student safety, again, their dignity, and a sense of belonging. Mrs. Kennedy just shared with me in the lobby a portrait that was drawn of Catherine by one of our students today. Again, showing those relationships. She thoughtfully adapts health plans to enable students to safely participate in classroom activities, field trips, and school events alongside their peers. She collaborates closely with families and teachers to ensure that students with chronic conditions or disabilities receive the necessary accommodations to support their success. Through her calm, compassionate presence, Catherine supports students who may be anxious or overwhelmed, helping them feel safe and understood. By training staff on emergency care plans, she empowers the entire school community to confidently support students with medical needs in every setting. Often working quietly behind the scenes, Catherine removes barriers, creating a welcoming environment, and makes inclusion a daily reality for all of our students. Congratulations.
All right, and last but not least, it's Miss Carla DiDomizio, Principal, Sequoia Middle School.
I'm back. Okay. Katie Jan is truly an inspiration. She is an inclusion hero who works with all of her heart to make sure everyone feels welcome everywhere, every day. Her dedication is deeply heartwarming, showing how much she genuinely cares for her students and their need to belong at school. She is amazing and goes above and beyond to make things happen for her students so that they have the best middle school experience and learn lifelong skills socially and academically, from class elections to organizing school dances to being a part of the awesome co-taught elective class and building it from the ground up, and being a part of what makes field trips and activities possible at Sequoia. When she asks, she doesn't stop until I say yes. Katie is a pivotal piece of Sequoia and the team there, and a true inclusion hero, and she has helped me become a better person. Thank you, Katie.
Congratulations again to all the Inclusion Heroes. Again, that was, how many was that? 10? 11 out of 141 nominations this year. It's pretty amazing just listening to those descriptions. So thank you so much and congratulations. We are moving on to item 2G, reports from our student reporters. First up, we have Fiona Mercer from Westlake High School.
Good evening, esteemed members of the board and community members. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving break. My name is Fiona Mercer, a representative from Westlake High School, and I'm back to give you a very exciting report of what has been going on at our school. Right when we got back from break, the choir department had our holiday choir shows where we performed classical songs for the first half and sing and dance for the second half. I genuinely had so much fun performing with my choir friends, and I wanted to give a huge shout out to Mrs. Amy Rolniak. We're always working so hard to make sure we look our best and, of course, sound our best. A week after the choir concerts, all of our honors choirs did a field trip to Los Cerritos Middle School and Colina Middle School to recruit the incoming warriors, and we had the best time performing for everybody. Our a cappella group, ACA, have been so busy as they have had so many opportunities to perform at different events. I'm so proud of all of the members in the choir program for being so locked in during these busy past couple of weeks. While the choir kids were very busy, band and orchestra were also busy as they prepped for their concert. Some of my friends and I went to the orchestra concert and it was so good. Shout out to Mrs. Cindy Goldberg for reading the story while our warriors were playing the instruments. Also, some of our ASG students hosted the annual sandwiches for the homeless, where anyone can come and make sandwiches for the homeless during lunch. With so many of our warriors' help, we were able to make about 100 sandwiches and we gave them out to the homeless. In addition, we also celebrated Inclusive Schools Week by having different club activities during lunch every day, as well as students could pledge a sign. We also had a lot of fun with the last few days of school before finals by dressing up. Some of our dress-up days included wear festive colors, wear a hat where it's at, and of course, everyone's favorite was Tired Tuesday, where we wore PJs to school. Additionally, our future educators pathway students did a field trip to Westlake Elementary, where they played with the kids and helped them learn. Last but not least, during finals week, all of my American Sign Language peers spread the joy of holidays by going around the school and caroling in ASL to all of the staff and students. They did an amazing job. We also passed out encouraging notes from elementary students to our warriors, wishing them the best for their upcoming finals. JSU hosted a lunch activity to celebrate and share their Hanukkah traditions, which included dreidel games, music, and much more. That concludes my report. Thank you so much for your time, and as always, we're building our future the warrior way. Have a lovely and relaxing winter break, and I will see you in 2026.
Thank you so much, Fiona. Next up, from Century Academy, Selena Smith.
Hello, President Powell, Dr. McLaughlin, members of the board and district administration. My name is Selena Smith, and I'm happy to provide you with updates on December and a look ahead into January. This Century has winter event, which was held on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesday, we had our students decorate jars and drink hot chocolate. Wednesday, we decorated gingerbread houses. Then on Thursday, we ordered pickup sticks and watched some holiday movies. January, ASU will provide donuts and juice during this seminar for students coming back from winter break, though we will not be having any major events the month we come back. We also hosted 2 fundraisers this month at Chipotle and Handel's Ice Cream Parlor. We are excited to raise funds for ASG events that we are scheduling for semester 2 for grades K through 12. Some of our upcoming events will include a talent show, spring egg hunt, and college tours. This past month, groups of Century and Shine students got to tour Pepperdine University in Malibu, as well as the Rose Cosmetology School. We are aiming to visit a university and training program every quarter of this year. Thank you so much for your time and ears. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Selena. Next up is Angeline Pinn with Conejo Valley High School.
Good evening, President Powell, Dr. McLaughlin, members of the board, and district administration. The Dragons have been very busy during the past month. The annual Thanksgiving feast went very well. Anthem Church is always very generous with us and prepared an amazing feast again this year. They made so much good food that anyone who wanted could get seconds. A lot of people even brought home to-go boxes. We are very thankful for Anthem. We recently had two field trips students could attend. People got a tour of Moore Park College and got to visit the zoo. Everyone loved getting to see all the animals. The campus was really nice as well. The CME Institute gave a good perspective for good options when we finish high school. There are lots of programs there and students got really motivated. Last Wednesday, we started our annual gingerbread house decorating contest. We have had loads of students participating and making some really creative houses. The room is full of students every day at lunch. Last week, we were working on constructing. This week is all about decorating. We're very thankful for our custodian, Dennis, for putting up with the mess around room 6. Thursday afternoon, the houses will be set up in the lobby just outside this room. Friday is the judging for the houses, so we hope that you all come down and help. Your vote helps. To get in the holiday spirit, we are finishing this week with some dress-up days. Today was Holiday Colors Day. Tomorrow's Ugly Sweater Day. And to top things off, we have Friday for Pajama Day. Last week, we had an Interact meeting at Next Gen Rotary Club, and they spoke to the group about saying yes to opportunities and understanding our path may take many different directions in life. It was really good. It was a really good conversation because all who were there were seniors, and we were all starting to think about what might happen after high school. It left us feeling very inspired. Mr. McDonald continues to work with Safe Passage Youth Organization. They are building on workforce as many students have been inspired to apply. They are continuing to head out into the open space to do a fire migration and environmental beautification. The students involved are very thankful for the opportunity Tim Hagel, Julian Espinosa, and Safe Passage Organization has provided them. We are continuing our partnership with Adelante. Our clothing rack got picked over within minutes last month, and we're expecting the same this month. In addition to us joining in at the monthly food share, we are so thankful for our donations that Adelante has provided our dragon dresser at school. We have a lot of students leaving at the end of the week. Several graduates and a bunch of people who earned their way back to their home schools. Congratulations to all of them. It's always sad to see the graduates go, but we are excited to see what their future holds. We look forward to welcoming several new dragons in January too. We are grateful to end the calendar year at CVHS and want to thank you all for supporting our very special school. Have a happy holiday and see you in 2026. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Angeline. Next up, Newbury Park High School, Darwin Rowland.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board and district personnel. My name is Darwin Rowland, and it's a pleasure to be joining you on behalf of Newbury Park High School as the student representative this evening. The Panthers started the holiday season strong after Thanksgiving break with our season's greetings activity on December 1st, as well as the beginning of our Panther Closet Class competition. That's a mouthful. The competition lasted 2 weeks and ended very successfully. The Associated Student Government celebrated all of our students with December birthdays on the 2nd, passing out birthday cards and candy to our first period teachers so that everyone would receive a gift. Later that week, ASG hosted 2 winter-themed LTAs to boost holiday spirit as well as school spirit, both of which were a smashing success. Additionally, the Newbury Park High School Dance Department hosted its annual winter dance concert for all community members to enjoy and received some of the best reviews in years with 3 almost sold-out shows. The next week, ASG celebrated Inclusive Schools Week, hosting paper, chain link, and puzzle piece lunchtime activities where students were given the opportunity to write kind messages and contribute to a larger project that was displayed throughout the week. ASG also invited Unified Sports to host games at lunch on Wednesday and Newbury Park's Sparkles Cheers team to perform on Friday. Overall, the week was a smashing success, with students enjoying themselves and filling the quad with school spirit. Last weekend, the Newbury Park High School Choir Department hosted its winter concert, with both group performances by a concert choir, barbershop quartet, and chamber choir, as well as solo performances. All of the songs featured holiday themes, filling the Performing Arts Center with holiday cheer. This week, in preparation for finals, ASG made supportive and encouraging posters and placed them around campus to help ease students into the testing process. ASG also hosted a hot chocolate day yesterday to boost both holiday spirit and comfort students who may be stressed out with studying. As the semester comes to an end, we are so proud of our students for working so hard and making NPHS proud. We're looking forward to the rest of this festive month and the nice winter break that our students deserve from all of their efforts. Thank you for your continued support. Have a good night and happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Darwin. And it's my understanding that our Thousand Oaks High School report tonight will come from Trustee Kearns.
Thank you. Yes, unfortunately, ASB Vice President Caden Studebacher had to tend to ASB duties coincidentally this evening. So I'll be giving the report. I'm just going to read word for word what she had written down here. December marked a meaningful close to the fall season and an exciting transition into winter at Thousand Oaks High School. As our fall sports seasons came to an end, we celebrated the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship shown by our student athletes throughout the semester. At the same time, we welcome the start of winter sports, with teams already bringing strong energy and Lancer pride as their seasons get underway. This month, our campus also recognized Inclusive Schools Week, reinforcing our commitment to creating a welcoming and supportive environment for all students. Through daily themes and student-centered activities, we focused on belonging, kindness, and celebrating the diversity that makes our school community strong. School spirit was on full display during Winter Rally Week, which brought students together through themed dress-up days, lunchtime activities, and a rally that highlighted clubs, athletes, and student leaders across campus. These events continue to be an important way for students to connect and celebrate 2HS Pride as we head into the holiday season. We are also excited to host Future Lancer Night, welcoming incoming students and their families to campus. The evening gave Future Lancers the opportunity to explore academic programs, activities, and athletics while getting a feel for the supportive and vibrant community that defines Thousand Oaks High School. Side note, Trustee Goldberg and I had the privilege of attending, and it was a lot of fun. So congratulations to the Thousand Oaks High School ASB for an excellent event. In addition, ASB has continued to strengthen connections with our feeder elementary schools through interactive activities and monthly challenges. This growing partnership has been incredibly fun and rewarding, allowing us to engage with younger students while building excitement for their future at TOHS. We are thrilled with how this initiative has grown and look forward to expanding it even more in the months ahead. As we close out the semester, Thousand Oaks High School remains a place filled with spirit, inclusion, and meaningful connections. Thank you for your continued support of our students, staff, and programs. Caden sends her best.
Thank you for that. Thank you to all our student reporters. You all are amazing. It's great having you here. So Happy New Year. Okay, we are at item 2H, reorganization of the Board of Education. I will now be turning over the meeting to Superintendent McLaughlin.
Thank you. All right, as we begin this process of our reorganization meeting, I will briefly explain the reorganization process. As we begin with nominations for board president, a nomination will come forward by a board member with the nomination process. We could have multiple individual nominated. We do not need a second by another board member, but we will need each nominee to accept their nomination. Once we conclude all the nominations for board president, we will open up for board discussion, followed by the vote for presidency. Following the election of the president and during the reorganization, Trustee Powell will leave the board president's chair to my left, and the new board president will sit there. Then the board will vote on vice president, clerk, and school board representative to vote for the election of members of the county committee for school district organization. The board may decide, which is normally not the case, tonight on assignments, or we'll push that into the board meeting in January. So with that, at this time, I will open up the floor for nominations for the 25-26 Conejo Valley Unified School District Board President?
Superintendent McLaughlin. I would
Trustee
like
Goldberg.
to nominate Karen Sylvester for the position of board president.
Trustee Sylvester, do you accept?
I do.
Any other nominations? Mr. Student Trustee Kearns, your light is on? Okay, just making sure. All right, with that, we will close the nominations. I will now move to comments and discussion by the Board of Education, if there are any.
I was going to use a lot of adjectives when I nominated Karen, but I decided that
With the adjective discussion complete, we will vote for our board trustee for board president, Trustee Kearns.
A strong and unwavering yes.
Okay. Trustee Goldberg,
absolutely yes.
Trustee Powell,
Yes.
Trustee Gorek,
Yes. Yes.
Trustee Gill,
Yes.
Trustee Sylvester.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion carried 5-0 with a preferential vote from Trustee Kearns. Congratulations. I do want to spend a couple minutes as we transition just to thank Trustee Dr. Powell for the last year of being a partner in crime, someone who that I spoke to frequently, hammered out a lot of concerns and issues and did a lot of problem solving. So for me personally, I just want to thank you for the last year of really good teamwork and our ability to work together. So thank you.
Could I say something really quick? Trustee Powell, I just wanted to thank you as well for helping me in this onboard process and reaching out several times to make sure that I was okay and doing well. It was definitely very helpful. And your care just came across so much, and it was very helpful to me stepping into the board. And under your leadership, it was an incredible experience. I look forward to Trustee Sylvester as well. So thank you.
Okay, I'm ready. The next order of business is to elect a vice president for the board. Do I have any nominations?
Trustee Sylvester.
Ms. Goldberg.
I nominate Trustee Gill for vice president.
Do you accept?
Thank you, I do.
Okay, any other nominations for this position? Okay, seeing none, I close that nominations and any discussion. Okay, I see no discussion, so let's vote. Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee Gorback?
Yes.
I'm sorry, does Finn vote? Oh, sorry, you go first, Finn, sorry. It's been 4 years since I've done this. Trustee Kearns.
Another very strong and very unwavering yes.
Trustee Gill.
Yes.
I'm a yes, so motion passes 5-0 with an honorary yes vote by Trustee Kearns. Next up, we will open nominations for our board clerk.
Trustee
Goldberg.
President Sylvester, I'll get used to it. I nominate Trustee Gorback as clerk of the board.
Mr. Gorback, do you accept?
Yes.
That was a yes. Any other nominations from the board? Okay, seeing none, I close nominations. Any discussion on this? Okay, seeing no discussion, let's vote. Trustee Kearns?
Absolutely yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
And Trustee Gorback?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with an honorary yes vote by Trustee Kearns. All right, moving on, the next thing we will vote on is the representative, this is quite a mouthful. It's the school board representative to vote in the election for members of the County Committee on School District Organization. That's quite a mouthful. Do I have a nomination?
President
Trustee Powell.
Sylvester, I nominate Trustee Goldberg.
Okay, do you accept?
I accept.
Any other nominations for this very long named position? Okay, seeing none, I close nominations. And any discussion on this? Okay, seeing none, let's vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee Gorback?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with an honorary yes vote by Trustee Kearns. So the final item for tonight in terms of the reorganization are board committee assignments. There's actually the addition of a couple of new committees and new to the board committees. So I think tonight we should decide to table this till January. And I ask in the interim if each of my fellow trustees could reach out to me with what board positions they want, what board positions they may not want, committee positions, I mean, et cetera. Is that amenable to everybody? Okay, great.
Is there a date in which you would prefer that information to come into, just so that we can get the January board agenda up and completed at some point?
So I would say we're back the week of the 7th. We have a board meeting a week from that Wednesday. So would a couple days after that, like the 9th, whatever that Wednesday is. Does that give you enough time?
Yeah, that's good
Okay.
for us. I just
All right.
sure the board's aware of when to reach back out to. Thank you.
All right, and I'll have Ms. Feldman reach out and remind everybody. Okay. Let's see. All right, moving on. I have lost my agenda on my computer. We are now at item 2I, which is 2L, public comments. So the CVUSD Board of Education wants to hear from students, parents, employees in our community. All individuals have the right to provide public comments during our school board meetings under Government Code Section 54954.3. Comments regarding specific items listed on tonight's agenda must be made when that agenda item is called. If you wish to speak on a topic that is not on tonight's agenda, now is the time to provide your public comment. If you have not already done so and wish to speak, please hand in your blue card to Mrs. Feldman. Please note that if you have any materials to hand to board members, please provide those materials to Mrs. Feldman for distribution to the board. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the board cannot undertake any action or discussion on items not on tonight's posted agenda. However, members of the board or its staff may briefly reply to comments or questions posed by the public. Usually, we will wait until the end of the public comment period before responding. As our meetings are held in public, your comments will be heard by those who are in attendance or watching a broadcast. In addition, the board encourages students to participate in civic affairs. Therefore, we hope that students that are watching this meeting or in tonight's audience, we hope that there are students watching or in tonight's audience. Please be mindful of that, and please make your comments factual and offer them in a respectful manner. In compliance with all applicable state and federal laws, the governing board strives to respect the privacy rights of students and employees during our meetings. This includes the right for the identities of students to remain confidential. We also ask that speakers be sensitive to our employees' legal rights to privacy and confidentiality. As a reminder, those requesting to speak at this time will speak on items that are not on the board agenda. Please note that speaker cards will not be accepted once the board starts the public comments agenda item with the first speaker. Mrs. Feldman. Oh, that would be helpful. Okay, we have 6 public comments. So as a reminder, each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. All right, so I'm gonna give a couple names at once so you can get organized. First, we have Edith Cortez, followed by Laura Kunko. Whenever you're ready.
Do I turn on? Oh, it's on. Good evening, members of the board, district leadership, colleagues, and guests. My name is Edith Cortez, and I am a proud school counselor at Newbury Park High School. Thank you for the opportunity to share an overview of how our counseling team is supporting college and career readiness for all our Panthers. We know you've heard from our colleagues at Westlake and Thousand Oaks High Schools, and tonight we'd like to highlight a few of the things that we do at Newbury Park High School to prepare our students to be college and career ready and ensure each of them has the guidance and support they need to succeed beyond high school. MTSS, or the multi-tiered system of supports, focuses on academic, behavioral, and social-emotional support for all students. It ensures that every student receives high-quality instruction at Tier 1, targeted interventions at Tier 2, and intensive individualized support at Tier 3. As school counselors, we put a twist and enhance this work through MTMDSS, a multi-tiered, multi-domain system of supports. This approach brings together academics, behavior, attendance, social-emotional wellness, and post-secondary planning. By looking at the whole student across these areas, we're able to identify needs earlier, collaborate more effectively across departments, and provide support that is more intentional, aligned, and data-informed. I want to direct your attention to the poster in front of you titled "Panthers are prepared for every path." It looks like this. This slogan represents a campus-wide initiative we launched last year to reinforce college and career readiness as a shared goal for all of our Panthers. You'll see this poster displayed in classrooms and offices across our campus, and it serves as a visual reminder of the many pathways available to our students. It's an informational tool and an encouraging message reminding students that there are multiple paths to success after high school and that we're here to support them in finding the path that's right for them. One of the strongest indicators of college and career readiness is completion of the A through G requirements. To reinforce this, A through G flyers are posted in every classroom and office, and counselors meet regularly with students individually and in classrooms to emphasize the importance of completing these courses beginning in 9th grade. We consistently reinforce the importance of A through G completion and college eligibility with families as well. In addition to college preparation, we are equally focused on career readiness through our career technical education pathways. We currently offer 10 CTE programs that connect students to real-world experiences and hands-on learning while in high school. These pathways help our Panthers discover their passions while building marketable skills in career direction. Our CTE pathways include broadcasting, video production and media, culinary arts and hospitality, the Data Academy, emergency responder and public safety, entrepreneurship, business and managerial arts, stagecraft, production, design and visual and media arts, woodworking, cabinetry, carpentry and trades, sports medicine and health sciences, and my report will be continued by Ms. Cuneo. Thank you all so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members and district leadership. I am Laura Cuneo, and I am also a proud counselor at Newbury Park High School, and my specific role is college and career readiness counselor. So I'd like to pick up right where my colleague left off, continuing to share about the topic near and dear to my heart, and the one that unites all of us in this room, which is preparing our students for life after high school. If we take another look at the poster in front of you, another critical component of college readiness is dual enrollment. Research shows that completing just 2 semesters of college coursework makes a student significantly more prepared for post-secondary success, and it is not going anywhere. We are proud that many of our students exceed this benchmark and that we continue to make these unique opportunities available to them as another way to become college and career ready. Of course, we also have to highlight our AVID program, now in its 2nd year, which you have already recently heard about. Intentionally integrating dual enrollment into its curriculum, these students will have completed over 30 college credits aligned to a Cal GETSI pathway by the time they graduate high school. This saves them not only time and money, but also helps them enter college with confidence and momentum. College and career readiness is also measured through 11th grade English and math assessments, which help us gauge students' mastery of standards and their preparedness for college-level coursework. Other indicators, as you can see on the flyer, is State Seal of Biliteracy, which recognizes proficiency in English and at least one other language, AP and IB exams, which demonstrate mastery of college-level material, leadership or military science pathways, or pre-apprenticeships. We have also provided you with a mid-year report for our counseling department, which highlights some of our Tier 1 presentations we've delivered so far this year, including welcome to our freshman year for all 9th graders, planning for next steps after graduation for seniors, planning for the future for juniors, and exploring your skills for sophomores. Through these presentations and our daily work, we ensure that every student is supported across academic, social, emotional, and post-secondary domains. Further down on the flyer, a few statistics, of course, we have to take a moment to highlight that we're proud of at NPHS, delivering 13 parent workshops, 87 Tier 1 classroom presentations, and having over 11,000 documented school counseling contacts so far this year alone. And it's not even winter break yet. Down below, also 94 students were enrolled in CCAP dual enrollment classes this past fall on our campus, reflecting students in special groups that are accessing these opportunities with support. And 78% of our 2 AVID cohorts successfully passed their fall dual enrollment courses. You also have in front of you our school counseling activities calendar, which provides a glance at what our year looks like. We are proud of the progress we've made and remain committed to preparing all students to graduate truly college and career ready. We invite you to support our events. Come anytime. Some of our upcoming events include Panther Preview Night on January 22nd and our Coffee with the Counselors on February 5th. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next 2 speakers are Michael Garcia and Kristen Smith.
Good evening, distinguished school board members, Dr. McLaughlin. My name is Michael Garcia, and I am a school psychologist at Glenwood and Maple Elementary. I wanted to take this opportunity to discuss some of the work that we do as school psychologists within the district. One of the primary roles that we have as school psychologists is providing assessments to determine eligibility and need for special education supports and services. And during the 24-25 school year, psychologists completed approximately 362 initial assessments, 669 triennial assessments, and 140 additional assessments related to behavioral, one-to-one, and social-emotional supports. That is a total of 1,171 assessments for the entire school year. And now altogether, these assessments accounted for roughly 11,700 man-hours. Now those hours only include the time it takes us to do direct assessments and report writing. And although that does take a large part of our job on a daily and annual basis, there are many other supports and services and roles that we play within the school year. And that would be continued by my colleague, Ms. Kristen Smith.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board and Dr. McLaughlin. My name is Kristen Smith, and I am one of the lead school psychologists here in Conejo Valley Unified. You have just heard from my colleague about the assessment portion of our job, and I would like to take the opportunity to share about the other ways that we support our students throughout this district. Specifically for our students who receive special education supports, we create social, emotional, and behavioral goals based on students' needs, and we work with the IEP team to develop behavior intervention plans, accommodations, and services that are supportive of each individual student. We consult with staff and assist with data collection throughout the year to review students' progress and ensure goals and services are adjusted as needed to provide students with exactly what they need in order to access their curriculum. For all of our students, we support with interventions and progress monitoring as part of our student success teams, advising on different behavioral, social, emotional, and academic supports. We are part of our crisis teams, supporting our students who are experiencing significant mental health concerns through risk or threat assessments, and work with both families and community providers to ensure the students' well-being and safety. School psychologists help students, families, educators, and members of the community understand and address both chronic and short-term challenges that students may face. We collaborate with our mental health department, school counselors, and student support services to ensure that our students' social, emotional, and behavioral needs are met so that they can access their education. Our goal is to continue supporting student success throughout the district, and we appreciate the support of the board, district, and community as we strive to do so. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you both. Our last two are, let's see, Anthony Pena and Oscar Ruiz.
Good evening, members of the board. I am a freshman at Westlake High School and speaking with Oscar Ruiz in regards to recent discussion about Magic School. I want to bring up what's happening in Memphis with Gronk and the XAI data centers because it shows AI infrastructures and what can look like in real life. Investigations and report describing major community concerns in South Memphis, a historically black area already burdened with industrial pollution, where residents say the air got worse and health problems like asthma and COPD are part of daily life. Advocates have argued this is an environmental justice issue. Powerful new technologies powered in ways that can add pollution placed in communities that have carried the cost of industries for decades. When we talk about AI in school, it can sound like something that we don't need to think about, but it's something that is affecting real communities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Just go. Okay. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Oscar Ruiz, and I'm a senior at Westlake High School. Currently, I've been participating in a statewide program called the California Youth Climate Policy Leadership Program. It's a program that is meant to get students to engage in environmentally related policymaking at the school district level, and I'm here tonight to speak about generative artificial intelligence in our school district, specifically in response to recent discussions about Magic School, and I'm also here to talk about the importance of being environmentally conscious and what we as a district can do about it. I want to be clear about this. I'm not here to call for a ban on AI because I understand that many people think that AI can be an extremely helpful tool when used responsibly and ethically. And while I do respectfully disagree with this sentiment, I'm specifically requesting that the district recognize and discuss the environmental impacts associated with generative AI and that these be considered in future AI policy decisions. Because during previous discussions on Magic School, concerns were raised about moving forward with AI tools before a clear district-wide policy framework is in place. And I agree that policy should guide implementation. And I also think that it should reflect environmentally responsibility on top of instructional goals. The environmental cost of AI is often left out of conversations, but generative AI relies heavily on large data centers that consume substantial amounts of electricity and water, and large-scale models create impacts that are real and measurable, and this does lead to communities who are disproportionately affected by several environmental risks. And as a district, we should value sustainability alongside educational values. Through my work with the California Youth Climate Policy Program, I have drafted a board resolution that aims to call for transparency, educational-centered implementation, and environmental accountability regarding AI and AI usage within our district. This effort is supported by over 50 students from Thousand Oaks High School, Newberry Park High School, Conejo Valley High School, and Westlake High School, as well as the Student District Advisory Council Subcommittee and some of my teachers. Although many students weren't able to show their support in person today, some were, and their support shows us that they care about how decisions made in this room affect their education and their future. I speak here today to ensure that our district adopts technology responsibly and thoughtfully in alignment with environmental values. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you very much. All right, we are now on item 3, action items general. We are on 3A, the CSBA Delegate Assembly nominations. Do I have a motion?
President
Trustee
Sylvester,
Goldberg.
I move that we approve the submission of Lauren Gill to run for election to CSBA's Delegate Assembly for a 2-year term beginning April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2026.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Gorbach.
I second the nomination, or the motion.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none. And I just want to say, and I want to thank Ms. Gill for doing this. She has been our delegate for, I think, as long as you've been on the school board, pretty much. And I think it's very important for us to have that kind of representation. So I know we haven't voted yet, but I just want to say that. Trustee Kearns.
Yes, without reservation.
Trustee Gorbach.
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg.
Yes.
Trustee Powell.
Yes.
Trustee Gill.
Yes.
I am a yes, so motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. All right, moving on to item 3B, approval of our scheduled regular board meeting dates for the remainder of this year as well as a portion of next year. Do I have a motion? Ms. I was going to say President.
President
Trustee
Sylvester,
Powell.
I know. I move that we approve the scheduled regular board meetings for the remainder of 25-26 school year and a portion of the 26-27 school year as submitted.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Gorbach has seconded. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote. Trustee Kearns.
Yes.
Trustee Gill.
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach.
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg.
Yes.
Trustee Powell.
Yes.
I am a yes vote. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. All right, where are we? Okay, we are moving on to item 3C, which is adoption of resolution in terms of International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Do I have a motion?
President
Trustee
Sylvester.
Gill. Trustee Gill.
I move that we adopt resolution number 25/26-17, recognizing International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Powell. It has been moved and oh gosh, thank you. We have 2 public comments before we vote. So let's see. First up, I have Angela Liu, and followed by Brian Schumacher. And you each have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Superintendent McLaughlin and esteemed members of the board. My name is Angela Liu, and I am speaking tonight as a member of the Autism Society Ventura County Advocacy Committee and as a student currently attending Westlake High School. I want to share my strong support for item C and for your recognition of Holocaust Remembrance Day and also of this year's Inclusion Heroes. The fact that you are honoring this important day within the same week you honor Heroes of Inclusion is no coincidence. As a student, I see every day how much inclusion matters. When students feel welcomed, supported, and understood, they are able to learn and participate in school in ways that feel safe and empowering. The people you are honoring tonight make a huge difference in that experience. I also want to recognize Strive Conejo for helping start these efforts and the district for continuing to expand them. It means a great deal to students like me to see adults in our school community celebrating diversity, listening to marginalized groups, and taking action to create more inclusive classrooms. Thank you for choosing to highlight and support inclusion. It makes a real difference in the lives of students, and it gives us great hope to see our district leading the way.
Thank you, Ms. Liu. Next up, Mr. Schumacher.
Hello, good evening, Dr. McLaughlin, council members. My name is Brian Schumacher, and I am Advocacy and Community Impact Manager for Autism Society. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of our devoted advocacy committee who meet each week to ensure that the voices of individuals with disabilities and their families are heard and considered in policy decisions that affect their lives. For item C, the adoption of resolution 2526-17, we want to offer our strong support for your recognition of Holocaust Remembrance Day. This day of remembrance is vital for communities to recognize and ensure that the future we build together will be brighter than those darkest periods of our connected past. At ASVC, we deeply understand the human necessity of honoring the unique differences that make us all special. Inclusion and equity are more important than ever. to help our community to come together and honor every individual for their own contributions. We find it very fitting that in this same important week, you should honor the amazing inclusion heroes of CVUSD, who promote and advance inclusion and equity for all students every single day. Many of these efforts began through Thrive Conejo, whose leadership and early work helped lay the foundation for this important celebration. We also appreciate that CVUSD has embraced and expanded these efforts and continues to elevate inclusion and celebrate those who go above and beyond to support students with disabilities and other marginalized students groups. Your recognition of diverse groups has not gone unnoticed, and we appreciate the leadership that your board has shown. Thank you for your commitment to inclusive practices and for supporting the people who make that inclusion possible.
Thank you, Mr. Schumacher. Before I open it up for any discussion, I just want to say this is a resolution we pass annually, and at least we have for the past few years. The timing this year seems unfortunately and especially appropriate given what happened in Australia this past weekend. It's yet another sobering reminder that anti-Semitism is clearly not a thing of the past and seems to be even worsening worldwide. This resolution reinforces to our community why remembrance and education remain essential and why we must continue to promote respect, understanding, and humanity in our schools. So any other comments from my fellow trustees? Trustee Goldberg.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction to this, because normally, I don't know, I felt the need, particularly in light of this past weekend, to speak to this resolution. As someone whose family was shattered by the Shoah, my mother-in-law is a survivor, as was my favorite great aunt. We count many in our family who did not survive. My father-in-law, who passed this weekend, spent his life teaching history because he believed that we could learn from it and in so learning, do better. We're not speaking of some distant ancient history. As we mentioned, the news this weekend was riddled with textbook examples. Bondi Beach, colleges and universities across the country, they're not isolated incidents. They're everywhere, too many to name, and they're escalating by every objective measure. This is precisely why Holocaust education matters. If we don't teach the history, we will not learn the lesson. Hatred destroys not only its targets, but those who harbor it, and rots from within the societies that permit them to flourish, virtually unchecked. When we teach about the Holocaust, we're teaching children to recognize how quickly civilization can unravel, how easily neighbors become enemies when we fail to not only recognize, but to defend each other's humanity. I was deeply grateful when our district brought all 8th grade students to the Auschwitz exhibit at the Reagan Library. It powerfully laid out a clear timeline, methodical way that depicted the magnitude and tragedy and how it unfolded. Not overnight, but through incremental steps that went unchallenged. It showed our students the real and present danger of unchecked prejudice and discrimination. Defending each other's humanity means speaking up when we see our neighbors treated as less than human, before these step-by-step processes become normalized and unchallenged in our own communities. Let me be clear. This education benefits every single student in our district. When we teach about the Shoah, we are equipping students to recognize the warning signs of hatred in all forms, whether it's directed at Jewish people or any marginalized community. We're teaching them to be the kind of neighbors and citizens who stand up, speak out, and refuse to be bystanders. This history allows our students to learn that hatred destroys not only its targets, but those who harbor it. Through Holocaust education, we empower students to become advocates for tolerance and inclusivity, to foster a school environment that rejects discrimination in all forms. Another lesser but important reason teaching the Shoah is so important to me is the fact that growing up, World War II and the Holocaust were part of the nation's recent collective memory. Today's students have no firsthand and very little secondhand connection to those experiences. Add to that the reality that many young people get their news from lightly moderated, if at all, social media platforms where algorithms amplify extreme opinions, conspiracy theories, and conflict-stoking content that drives engagement, and we face a perfect storm of misinformation and misunderstanding. In today's online discourse, the Holocaust gets misappropriated to score political points. It becomes a tragically empty shell of a concept, weaponized and stripped of its historical truth. This should alarm all of us who care about facts, education, and our children's ability to discern the truth from manipulation. Our students must learn that indifference is not neutrality, it's complicity. The survivors who rebuilt their lives didn't just survive. They insisted that we build a more just world. We honor them and we protect our own children by refusing to let history repeat itself, by teaching these lessons while there's still time. Thanks for the indulgence.
Thank you for your words. Trustee Kearns.
I'll just quickly add, well, number one, Trustee Goldberg, I think that was an incredible message for this community and quite frankly the world to hear. And so I look forward to seeing that be amplified, especially given what has happened recently. I'll just quickly add for any of my peers watching in the audience or virtually, if you see something, say something. I know it's a pretty common phrase, but anti-Semitism is not a thing of the news. It's not a thing of social media. It can be on your campus. It can be in the community. If you're walking around at the mall and you hear something, if it's safe to do so, say something to that person. Say, hey, that's not a funny joke, or hey, that's not cool. Or at the very least, tell someone who can do something about it safely. So that's all I would say. But I think it's really important to look at it from that perspective of that you can change the attitudes and behaviors of those around you by just saying something and pointing out and bringing new information to their perspective. Because a lot of people may make jokes that they think are harmless and funny, but it's important that you remind them that it is not funny. It is not a laughing matter. And so I think that's something I've seen a lot on my campus. And most people, if you just say, hey, that's not funny, they'll be and explain it to them a little bit. You know, they're apologetic, they understand, and hopefully you've changed their outlook. And if not, I know we have incredible administration teams that are willing to address those sorts of incidents. But yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and motioned and seconded. So seeing no other comments, please vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
I'm a yes, so motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. Oh, the fun begins. Moving on to item 3D, approval of the 25-26 first interim financial statements. Do I have a motion? Trustee Goldberg.
I move that we approve the submission of the 2025-2026 first interim financial statements as submitted.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. I believe we have a presentation by Dr. Hayek.
We do. Maybe not so fun, but so we're going to report tonight on first interim financials. These are our financials from July 1st through October 31st. As you know, we have to provide the county office a certification, whether it's positive, qualified, negative. We continue to have positive certifications, meaning that we'll meet our obligations for this fiscal year plus the next two. This is where we are in the budget cycle. Our first interim report. Our next action here, and it's on tonight's agenda, is the prior year audit report, which would be 24-25. And then moving forward, we'll await the governor's proposed budget in January to see how we map out moving forward. Some notes here on the political landscape that has been happening since adopted budget. There's been really no significant changes on funding since then. Federal funding continues to evolve. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's shifting of responsibilities between federal departments. The impact of those are TBD. Congress has made some cuts to Medicaid and the supplemental nutrition assistant programs that may affect schools. It might change some of the eligibility that directly impacts our LCFF. The state has said that they'll step in and they'll do some adjustments to their budget to cover any potential losses, but we'll have to wait and see on those. The state LCFF maintains a 2.3% COLA, and obviously with declining enrollment, and we say this all the time, the COLA is essentially negated because of the number of students that change year over year. Looking forward, any significant reductions in our multi-year financial projections do have a plan. We've been working on a right-sizing plan for the last year or so. We'll continue for the 2 out years as well, in an effort to put us in a balanced budget and in a position where we can move forward in a positive direction. There's really modest revenue gains from the COLAs for us and for most districts in California because of declining enrollment. There's some talk about the LCFF COLA for 26-27 could be lower than what's included in LCF planning factors because of prior year adjustments. There's also been some discussion that it's going to be a quote-unquote super COLA, which could result in some one-time additional monies or some additional ongoing monies, but we'll have to wait and see on those. These are our numbers. Again, our actuals as of October 31st and projected through June 30, 2026. Not much of a change in our LCFF funding. Federal remains pretty consistent for now, and the state and local dollars, again, relatively unchanged. On the expense side, we break this down between restricted and unrestricted. Restricted is mostly special education costs, and you can see the breakdown between salaries, benefits, book supplies, and services. When you put this together, again, broken out, unrestricted, restricted, we start the year with roughly $40 million, 24 of that is unrestricted. Our estimated revenue is about $242 million, our expenses are about $256 million, and that nets us out for about $26.2 million. And the breakdown of that 26.2 is listed below. We still maintain our local fiscal stabilization reserve of $3 million. We're able to maintain our 3% mandated reserve, which leaves us essentially $3.9 million in undesignated reserves. Looking forward, when we put our multi-year projection together, there are factors and assumptions that we have to include. These are always exactly wrong, but approximately right. We never know what's going to happen 3 years out. It's difficult to go through the uncertainties of budgeting every year because we're so state dependent. The COLAs for the out years are projected to be at 3.02 and 3.42%. Our enrollment continues to decline. We're somewhat in line with the enrollment, the demographic study we did several years ago that was recently updated. And then obviously we're funded on average daily attendance, and we're still on a 3-year rolling for funding for average daily attendance. So the impact of declining enrollment is lessened because of that 3-year roll. Our pension rates have been pretty steady for the last couple of years. They do still eat up a significant portion of our dollars. We don't have any negotiated salary adjustments in this year or the next 2 years at this time. We always anticipate about 30 retirements each year, and when we do our staffing, we do maintain staffing ratios of 21.5 to 1 and 30 to 1 in the 2 out years. That potentially could change to 24 to 1 and 30 to 1. And our anticipated budget reductions in the out years in 26-27 will be around $6 million and 27-28 around $4 million. Broken down, restricted, you have to think of restricted as dollars that are assigned for specific purposes. They're typically a net zero. The reason that they show a $757,000 ending balance is because of monies that we received prior to, but will not be spent in the current year and will carry over to the following years. And these are unrestricted dollars. For 25-26, you can see the numbers are similar to 3.9 on the bottom is the undesignated reserve. In 26-27, you could see also, if you look at the income and expense, are because of the budget right sizing that we're doing, the gap between income and expense is getting smaller, and then by 27-28, we estimate to be essentially at a balanced budget with somewhat of a positive surplus as long as we continue our budget right sizing plan. So we expect in year 3 to have roughly about $2.2 million in undesignated reserves, including not including the $3 million fiscal stabilization reserve. When you put this together, the numbers are unrestricted remain the same. This is just combined when we put the restricted and unrestricted together. The other funds that we operate, you could see here, student activity fund are mostly our ASB accounts. Adult education program continues to be a work in progress. We're still looking at expanding into CTE programs and other programs to make our adult ed programs to be somewhat of a regional hub for career development for adults. Child development continues to run pretty healthy. We provide important service for our families. Our child nutrition funds, sitting on quite a bit of dollars. We do have a plan to reinvest those dollars back into the kitchens to upgrade some equipment and improve some of the speed lines. We've been doing some new taste testing and other menu items bringing in. So those plans, those dollars have to be spent relatively soon, and we're working on a greater plan. Deferred maintenance, we have about $3.5 million. We expect to spend about $400,000 this year, leaving about $3.8 in the balance for future maintenance. Measure I, both on the building side and technology. Building side is kind of winding down. Our largest project now, we have in Newbury Park High School, updating our science labs. And our Measure I technology, it is a pretty high balance, $26 million sitting there, but keep in mind a few years ago, we took advantage of extremely low interest rates, around sub 2% rate, and we sold our taxable bonds, which gave us the ability to extend the timeline for spending those dollars and put us in a good financial situation where we've issued them at a low rate, and rates have increased substantially since then, and we continue to earn interest on those dollars. But our technology plan will take us through 2034 as originally designed to support our one-to-one program and other technology in the schools. Developer fees, we continue to see some income from recent developments. We expect to spend just over $2 million this year on capital projects, leaving us with just under $1 million estimated at the end of the year. Topaz, same thing, reserved for capital expenditures. As we wind down Measure I, these funds are going to be critical to continue maintaining our facilities because we don't have any other source of funding for maintaining our buildings. Surplus property, it's just the relatively small set of expenditures there, dealing with the closing of the buildings we purchased and some maintenance and repairs that we have to do. Topaz Foundation is a pass-through account. Bond interest and redemption is the account that we pay our Measure I bonds and interest payments out of. And worker comp and health and welfare are self-insured programs. We estimate health and welfare to have about $18.4 million ending balance at the end of the year, and work comp about $4.2. And private purpose trust, again, is another pass-through account for some small scholarships and such. So our next step is January. We'll wait to see what the governor's proposed budget leaves, and then we'll start working on second interim, which we'll bring back in March. And then at the same time, we'll start working on our budget for 26-27. Any questions?
Trustee Powell.
Thank you for that. I had a question. Can we go back to slide 13, I think it is? 12 or 13. And you spoke to it, but I just wanted to understand it better. Really looking at the 3-year projection, and I know I was sort of struck by like the undesignated reserve was a lot smaller in year 2, but then a lot bigger in year 3. And then I know you talked about because of the, and maybe this is related, maybe it's not, because of the cuts, the budget cuts, we're planning on making $6 million next year and then $4 million the following year. We would then ostensibly be at a balanced budget by year 3.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is given the factors we know today.
Right.
And the
I know you're not making any promises.
And that's our plan. And we've been doing our right sizing through the budget. We're really in an effort to do it through attrition. We've been not backfilling positions to try to put us in a position where we're minimizing the amount of reduction in forces we have to go through. There may or may not be some coming forward in the future, But for now, we've been able to manage this year. We've made a pretty big substantial dent this year in not backfilling some positions and making adjustments within our budget and cutting some spending here and there that put us on a good 3-year plan. But that's going to continue for the next 2 years.
Just the one thing to emphasize is there's one-time dollars in there for this school year, a pot that was not expected, until the final budget came in, and we put it in there, but it's going to fall out because it's one-time dollars. And again, they may provide us one-time dollars when the budget is approved at the state level for next year. And again, they're one-time dollars and they may fall out. So when you go back and you think of year 3, remember year 3, we don't count those one-time dollars in year 3. And I will say, because I have lots of questions about 3-year projections and are we ever going to get to a 3rd year? And I went back 3 years and 6 years, and I would say we are closer now to hitting that 3-year cliff than we ever have been. Because I would say, as someone who's been at the negotiating table for, either a superintendent and a negotiator for 16 years, you never thought the 3rd year would hit. And I will say that we're to the point now where it's getting closer and closer. And we've got to make those adjustments as we move forward with this budget. And I know it's just not us. There's a lot of districts. I know Santa Barbara had a big board meeting this week, and lots of questions and concerns were raised. And no different than what's happening in Pasadena Unified, and the list goes on and on and on as I open up my daily news feeds. And it's all this week because we're all doing the same board meetings, having the same budget discussions, and you can see what's happening in other districts is the same thing that's happening here. And it's really all around enrollment drops and these one-time dollars. So.
And I completely agree. And the one thing I'd like to add to that is, reading about all these other districts, a lot of them, it seems like they were surprised by declining enrollment or surprised by the fact that they got one-time dollars. From day one, I think we've managed this whole process incredibly prudently. Yes, we have to make cuts. Yes, we're in that same boat, but we knew this was coming. And so I really applaud the district for the steps that have been taken to date. And looking at the first interim, I mean, it's not the prettiest picture you can paint, but I don't see any major surprises from when, you can correct me if I'm wrong, from when we approved this budget back in June. And I think there's possibly going to be maybe some tough conversations coming up, but I do believe, especially reading about some of these other districts, that we are in much better shape than most because we've anticipated that. The one thing I do want to ask, because you said we're currently doing the 3-year rolling. Do you see any potential, and I know there's been a bit written about it, changes to the way we get funded? Right now it's on ADA. There's been some other speculation.
We go round and round about, every year there's something about being funded through enrollment and then changing LCFF and such. We're kind of at the mercy of the state. This is the governor's last budget, so there's going to be new leadership coming at the state level. So could there be potential for change? Yes. I did also read recently that a third or 2/3 of the legislature is terming out. So there could be a potential new philosophy in education funding. But again, I haven't heard anything recently or concrete about even a discussion about changing that.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I just had one quick question. So I know we got used to having a few years of restricted funds where there were a lot of those one-time dollars included, and that's pretty much gone away. So you mentioned that most of the restricted funds were related to special education.
Mm-hmm.
So that 11 million in the fund balance under restricted, what's that?
Some of that too is there's a number of things that are happening. It's not just spending of one-time dollars that were prior. So we had the mental health grant, as you recall. So whether that stays or not, it still ends in 2028. So those are positions and programs that we have put in place that, yes, they're going to show as a pseudo cut, but they were also funded. They're not being cut because of things directly related to enrollment. They were grant and the grant ends unless there's another source of revenue to continue that. Same thing with, they call them the LRBG grant, the local, I don't know, I'm tired of acronyms. We got it a few years ago. It was a grant, and it ends in 2028. So there was a 6-year window to spend that. So we're funding PE teachers out of their elementary. So that grant ends in 2028 as well. So it's a matter of cutting the expense, but there's also what's happening on the restricted side is some of those pieces are things that are directly associated to revenues that we're no longer going to see unless there are new grants that come up or other funding opportunities that we could take advantage of. And I'm pretty sure that we're all still constantly looking all the time for anything that's out there. A lot of these grants that came on the federal side have pretty much disappeared, and the things at the state level, I think, are sitting in a pending state, because if there's major impacts on the federal level, I think the state feels probably obligated to react. So they're kind of sitting on the sideline a little bit, wondering if they have to make up some of the differences of the things that happen.
I will note, the one thing that is helping us, while we have declining enrollment, our attendance has been increasing, and we know with every percentage of increase in attendance, that's $1 million, hopefully back into the budget or close to. So there's a lot of work going into student attendance and getting kids here. I think we're back, if this year holds for the second half of the year where we're at, we're going to be right back to where we were pre-COVID. For us as a district, we already finished the highest in attendance rate for the county last year, but we'll be back up to around that 96, a little bit over 96%, which we were pre-COVID. So that does help, and I know that there's a lot of work going into that at each of our school sites and folks here at the district level that works on attendance.
Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, please vote. Trustee Kearns.
Yes.
Trustee Powell.
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach.
Yes.
Trustee Gill.
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg.
Yes.
I am a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. Moving on to item 3E, which is our annual comprehensive financial audit, all funds, including Measure I. Do I have a motion? Trustee Goldberg.
I move that we accept the 2024-2025 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report Audit from Measure I as submitted.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Dr. Hayek.
No formal presentation, but if you'd like, I could point out a few highlights in the pages. It is a pretty extensive document. We are still the only school district in Ventura County and one of probably less than 20 that do a comprehensive financial report, which includes our annual audit plus statistical data that runs for 10 years. There's a lot of good, interesting things in there for the public to read, and it's just respective of our transparency of our financials and where we go and how we trend and such. So everything here is based on actuals. So this is our last certificate for 2024. We will submit again for the Certificate of Excellence in Reporting for 2025 once this audit is approved, and we hope to carry on what has now become a tradition for our 6th year. Page 22 and 23, these two pages basically show how we spend our money. I know the print is small, but this just gives you a breakdown of where our dollars go by category, with showing basically 68% going to instruction, and then you got instruction-related services, pupil services, general administration and such, with a detailed breakdown, some bullets underneath. Page 60 gives you, this is Measure I. We get questions periodically about our bonds, how much we have outstanding, what our payments are. Page 60 details each bond issue and the payments on them. Page 89, this gives you the end of year final comparison, where we were original budget and how we ended the year on an actual basis, and it's reflective of ending the year with a $15.9 million fund balance. And all these numbers are consistent with the unaudited actuals, which we presented back in September. So the audit, people don't know that the auditor also looks at attendance. This is our ADA for 24-25. We sat just around, just under 15,000 at 14,952. Our auditor also looks at instructional minutes. So they do test all of our schedules to make sure that we are in compliance and offering the proper number of minutes by subject. Page 103 gives our reserve levels from 2023 through the estimated budget 2026, showing kind of related to our earlier discussion, starting at 32 million, and then in 2025 we're at 21 million net of available reserves total. The audit also does track our enrollment and attendance history and also our ADA. And here you can see what Dr. McLaughlin referred to earlier for you could see we dipped below 93, but now we finished 2025 at 95, and we're trending to be even above that for this year. So that is something else that the auditor tests in addition to our finances. In the end, this is the letter from the auditor. It reads, in our opinion, a district complied in all material respects with the types of compliance requirements referred to above that could have a direct and material effect on each of its state compliance for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2025, which means there are no findings, and we do get a A+ on our audit report.
Dr. Hyde, can you talk a little bit about the amount of Measure I projects that were brought forward in the audit compared to other districts possibly versus ours, and why does ours seem to be a little bit more intense than others when it goes to the Measure I Oversight Committee?
So yeah, this audit does include Measure I. There is a separate Measure I committee that it's on here on this Measure I audit. It is on here as well. It is a separate audit, but it's also included in the overall audit. It's broken down for the bond purposes. We did review this with the Bond Oversight Committee at the last meeting last week, and there are always a number of questions that come up around it. There's been a request to look at some of the things that the auditor samples just to verify our process and basically our financial responsibilities. And typically auditors would take a small percentage and they would sample bills or purchase orders, and in contracts, they'd pull them and then they review, make sure we followed the right procedures and make sure that everything adds up. For us specifically, I mean, this last go around, I think they tested close to 80% of all the finances in Measure I, bills, purchase order, payroll, which is pretty significant, and found no findings that we're 100% in compliance. And we always have had clean audits in Measure I all the way from day one.
Yeah, and I would note that they're not looking at 80% because they think that there's something wrong. We have a strong oversight committee that knows that the auditor's going to be raked over the coals, per se, by questions. So it's just easier to produce that information and let them explain it back to the questions that come in from the Bond Oversight Committee. I think in our time, we've had 3 different auditors dealing with Measure I, and all 3 different companies have all come back with clean audits, never a finding that I'm aware of.
I would like to attest, because I did attend the last Measure I meeting just to observe, and the committee members very thoroughly interrogated the auditor, I would have to say, and really spent a lot of time on the process that they used in terms of the sampling and making sure that it was very comprehensive. So, and then this independent group, because it's made up of independent citizens, all were very complimentary of the process in the audit. So thank you for the clean opinions on both. I have to say the statistical section at the end is a fascinating wealth of information. So thank you for putting all that together. Any other questions or comments before we vote? Okay. Seeing none, let's vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. All right, moving on to item 3F, approval of a lease agreement with RF Circuits and Assembly. Do I have a motion?
President Sylvester.
Trustee Powell.
I move that we approve the lease agreement with RF Circuits and Assembly Incorporated for the real property located at 703 Rancho Conejo Road, Newbury Park, California, 91320 as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? Dr. McCool.
Yeah, I just want to, do you have something you want to go first?
I'll just say that, so we've been busy marketing the two buildings that we have, the vacant buildings in Newbury Park. And with this lease it's a 5-year lease. It's a local company that does light manufacturing. It's a good fit for the space. The total value of this lease is $968,000, which is going to be new revenue for us as a district that goes into our general fund.
That was not what I was going to say. But ultimately, hopefully this will cut the rumors that the district is looking at selling those 3 buildings as a large parcel, and that our maintenance and operation building is, and has always been, planned to stay in the spot that it's at. So hopefully that cuts the rumor down, and we'll get the other building rented out here shortly for another almost $1 million or whatever that number was that you just said.
Trustee Powell.
So you may have said this, I'm sorry. Was this lease amount what we had sort of put out there originally? Was it what we were hoping for? Is it ideal?
Yes. There is, it's essentially a 5.5-year lease, but what we did was the building needs some work and the tenant wants to come in and make some improvements. So we gave them 5 months of free rent per se. So the total duration is still 5.5. We'll still get 5 years, but we give them an opportunity to renovate the space until they can use it and make it functional. So we were right where we got what we were asking for.
And I do want to add, we were in the midst of a lawsuit that made us look at purchasing those 2 buildings. It was cheaper for us to purchase than continue ongoing lawsuit. So Dr. Hayek was not playing realtor with tax dollars. He was actually making really sound decisions on how to deal with the ongoing lawsuit that may have been settled for a brief period of time, but would have come back at us probably every few years. So the best way for us to not continue to see that come forward was to purchase those 2 buildings.
All right, thank you for all that background. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, please vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
I am a yes vote. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. It has been requested that we take a short break, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So 5 minutes. So let's convene back here at about 8:15. All right, is everybody? Wait, we're down a, oh, there she is. Okay, welcome back. We are now on item 3G, approval of a cooperating agreement for programs accelerating transformative housing. Do I have a motion?
President Sylvester.
Trustee Powell.
I move that we approve the cooperating agreement for the program's Accelerating Transformative Housing Program as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gill. It has been moved and seconded. I have one public comment on this topic, and that is from Brian Schumacher. Welcome back, Mr. Schumacher.
I'm speaking again on behalf, hello, I'm Brian Schumacher, speaking again on behalf of Autism Society of Ventura County and our devoted advocacy committee. We're here to offer our strong support for item G, the cooperating agreement for programs supporting staff housing. We're pleased to see the district pursuing creative approaches to the housing shortage. Stable, affordable housing for educators and paraeducators is truly essential. We see this as an opportunity to address the retention and recruitment of highly qualified educators, both in general and special education. The continuity of staffing matters greatly for student success, especially for those with disabilities. Supporting staff in this way strengthens the workforce and helps ensure that students with disabilities receive consistent and high-quality services from the adults that they know and trust. These actions show a district that is willing to lead with equity, innovation, and community partnership. We appreciate your commitment to taking meaningful steps that support both staff and students, and we look forward to seeing this effort move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Hayek, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, we did participate in the grant with the County of Ventura to look at a affordable housing feasibility study. We submitted 2 properties. At that time, when we entered into the whole process, we didn't have a tenant at 975 Evenstar Ave, and now that we have a tenant that's at 975 Evenstar Ave, I would suggest we modify the agreement on page 6 to delete the address 975 Evenstar Ave, Westlake Village, 91361 from the agreement, leaving only one CVUSD property, which is 1400 East Jans Road.
Okay, any further comments? Do I have consensus on that deletion from this presentation? So then I need an amended motion.
I am amending this motion to approve the cooperating agreement for the program's Accelerating Transformative Housing Program, removing the Evenstar property from this agreement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
I am a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. All right, we are now at item 4, which is our consent agenda. Nothing has been pulled.
President Sylvester.
Trustee Gorbach.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Gill. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote. Trustee Kearns?
Yes.
Trustee Powell?
Yes.
Trustee Gorbach?
Yes.
Trustee Gill?
Yes.
Trustee Goldberg?
Yes.
I am a yes. Motion carries 5-0 with a preferential yes vote from Trustee Kearns. All right, we are now on Section 5, information and discussion items. So First one is 5A, Instructional Services, which is the approval of instructional materials for the high school Science International Baccalaureate program at Newbury Park High School. Mr. Liu, do you have any comments?
Yeah, the textbook entitled Environmental Systems and Societies from the publisher IB Source is being proposed here tonight as new instructional materials for this current school year because this year's IB exam has changed and we need a new aligned textbook for the class. These materials are only for Newbury Park High School's IB diploma program. In accordance with our board policy 6161.1 as well as the corresponding AR, the materials have been selected by teachers, approved through science articulation, and were recently approved through SCAC, Secondary Curriculum Advisory Committee. We'll be holding an informational webinar regarding the proposed materials, which will be on January 8th. The materials themselves are available at Newbury Park High School's main school office for review, as well as at the District Educational Center.
Great. Any comments or questions on this?
I just have a question. What grade level will this new textbook be used for? Or
It's for their IB diploma program, so it's grades 11 and 12.
11 and 12. Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no further questions or comments, move on to 5B, approval of the new high school core literature titled James by Percival Everett. I was going to ask someone to hold up a book, and I see a couple have come up. There we go. Any comments, Mr. Liu?
Yes, thank you. We are bringing forward one new core literature title. This title being proposed is for 9th grade, and it is James by Percival Everett, which has been showcased up on the dais. As I do every time, I do want to talk a little bit overall about our district's process. So the selection of new core literature titles is in accordance with CVUSD Board Policy 6161.1, which is the selection and evaluation of instructional materials. English language arts teachers review prospective titles and bring them forward to their individual school site departments. If other colleagues of that department are in favor of the title, it is then brought forward to the English language arts articulation meeting, which is a regular meeting that we hold with all of our English language arts department chairs at the high school and middle school level. This meeting also includes special education teachers and English language development teachers along with district staff. If a proposal for the new title is approved there, it is brought forward for possible approval by the Secondary Curriculum Advisory Council, or SCAC, which is a representative of all of the academic content areas. Finally, if approved by SCAC, we bring forward these titles to the Board of Education and to the public as information discussion twice, and then one final time for possible action for a third public meeting in order to give the Board of Education and importantly the public the opportunity to review the materials and provide feedback. The titles are available to be checked out at the Thousand Oaks Public Library. As of earlier today when I checked, it is currently, quote, on the shelf. 2 out of 7 are available at the Thousand Oaks Library branch, and 2 out of 2 are currently checked out at the Newbury Park branch. Copies are available at the main high school offices as well as at our main, at our District Educational Center office, and those are available for review by anyone in the public. Finally, if anyone's interested, they can go to the main CVUSD webpage. On the top right corner, you can click the I Want To button and select the I want to learn more about secondary core literature. Additional information is there, particularly on the title, timeline, and our policies. Finally, we have 2 scheduled virtual previews scheduled in the evenings, and those will be held on January 8th and January 22nd.
Thank you. It's great to see core literature titles continually being added to our list. I look forward to reading it on a Kindle where I can make the font very, very large. All right, we are now moving on to any further discussion on this topic?
Yes, please. I want to express my gratitude to the teachers who continue to bring forward titles that diversify and enrich our core lit program for our students. It's quite a lot of work. I don't know if that's evident to everyone, but it's not a matter just of reading a title and thinking, well, this is a good idea, I'm going to nominate it. Considerable work goes into the thoughtful, deliberative process of bringing forward these titles and then developing the curriculum to teach them thoroughly and properly. And I would just like to celebrate this title in particular. I've read it, and I cannot wait for our students to experience it. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'm celebrating today. Thank you.
Trustee Powell?
I just also wanted to say thank you for all of this work and bringing this book forward. For anybody who takes the time to go look at what's attached to this agenda item, it really shares that intention and that thought and that process of what it takes to choose and put a book forward. And I just love reading these descriptions and how it applies and what the students are going to be learning by reading a particular book. I had the joy of reading this book just in the last 2 or 3 months, and I agree. I think it's going to be really great for students, and I can't wait to hear how it goes.
All right, great. So we will see it again as another information item before we'll move to a vote. All right, now we will move on to item 5C, discussion of AR 3311.3, design build contracts. Dr. Hayek, any comments?
These are just law updates. This is design build contracts, and there was a recent law passed that extended the opportunity to enter into such engagements.
Okay, any discussion, any questions? All right, seeing none, let's move on to item 5D, discussion of Board Policy 3470, debt issuance and management. Again, Dr. Hayek, any comments?
Same recent law updates. This one particular thing, and kind of related to our earlier discussion, there are schools that have had to have temporary borrowing because they weren't able to meet their obligations. We are not one of those schools, but there was nonetheless an update to require the policy that essentially you have to become more transparent and let the public know when you are doing any non-voter debt.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, let's move on to item 5E. Discussion of Board Policy 7131, relations with local agencies. Again, Dr. Hayek, any comments?
Again, law change requiring school districts to work cooperatively with other agencies, which we do. We have a great relationship with CRPD. We do work cooperatively with them, the city, and everybody else. This is just to codify it. This is an existing policy with just some minor adjustments.
Okay, any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we are now at item 5F, board committee reports. Are there any trustees who have a board committee report? Trustee Gorbach.
My committee, and Dr. Ariza is sitting right there, the dual language immersion. I just want to express such excitement about the fact that I'm going to talk about this in my individual comments later, because the combination of leadership with dual language immersion. And the fact that our next plan is to expand to different grade levels is a very exciting potential as far as I'm concerned, that we're moving these kids up with the skills they have. So that's basically the report. Unless you want to add something.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Trustee Gorbach. Any other committee reports? Trustee Powell.
I just had a couple. Health Benefits Committee meeting was December 2nd, I think, and it was very short. That's all I'll say. But I appreciate being a part of that group, getting to see expenses and just some of the decisions that are being made. And then secondly, the coalition for the Conejo Coalition for Youth and Families met just in December, and we just continued a very thoughtful and robust discussion we've been pretty much having all year of how to bring more visibility to this coalition, how to answer the call from our local nonprofits who want opportunities to do more networking and learning from each other and education, and creating those opportunities to bring them together more frequently other than just once a year, and more. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other reports? Okay, seeing none, this is a good place to remind my fellow trustees to submit your requests and your priority for what board committees you want to sit on going forward. All right, now we are moving on to comments from the Board of Education, starting with Trustee Kearns.
Good evening, everyone. Starting off with breaking news. Yesterday evening, I met with Councilmember Gutierrez of the Thousand Oaks City Council. Just kind of a general meeting connecting about both of our positions. And I also made sure to discuss the traffic on Lancer Way, an issue quite close to my heart and my car. Deal with it every day, so we're working through some potential solutions, and I brought it to the city's attention, so hopefully there'll be some movement there. We also talked about the Conejo Coalition for Youth and Families and how to better get the word out about that. Then I had, I think it was last week, an LGBT+ AC meeting. It was the first one I was able to attend this year. Very glad I did. I'm leading the secondary subcommittee, and we're planning some Pride Month events. So I'm looking forward to being able to share some more specific updates at coming board meetings. And then also last week, right before that, was the State of the City. So I wanted to congratulate Mayor Newman and also one of my closest mentors, Councilmember Gutierrez, on the incredible work that they have been able to accomplish. I know we're all very happy to have them as governance partners. And it was a really great presentation from Mayor Newman, just really a great event all around. Congratulations, President Sylvester, on your election as our president. I'm looking forward to getting to experience your leadership at the second half of my term. And thank you again to outgoing President, Trustee Powell. Next, I want to pivot to something that kind of gave me a little pause this weekend. And that was the shooting that occurred at Brown University on, I believe it was Saturday. Rounding out almost 400 shootings that have occurred, mass shootings that have occurred in the United States this year so far, just in the past 11 months. We haven't even gotten that far into December. I think it's just, quite frankly, absolutely ridiculous that we keep trying to put guns in everyone's hands instead of enforce common sense gun regulations, many of which are already existing law. It's very important that we protect students and we protect, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, like when I go to college, I don't wanna have to fear for my life. And it's just, I don't understand this whole fallacy that the Constitution agrees with the notion that students should fear for their lives on campus because of absolutely unrestricted gun access. I personally don't think that's the language of the Constitution. I won't go on a whole tangent about it right now, but it is something that was catapulted to the forefront of my mind this weekend, and my heart goes out to the entire Brown University community. Speaking of Brown University, something else I wanted to mention, you know, a lot of seniors like myself are in the midst of the college admissions process. To anyone who's watching right now, good or bad decisions received in like that early action round, I know they've been trickling in this week. Just know it'll all be okay. I've been going through it myself. I won't get into details about that, but yeah, I've established a little like support group at my school of like some of us who have had some difficulties throughout this process. And it's important you just find those who are supporting you. It's a really stressful process, but something I've been told by probably most of the people in this room and everyone that I've spoken to about it is that it will be okay, and I really do believe that. And so I think that's an important message for the community as well. With that said, good night, Conejo Valley. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Kearns. Trustee Powell.
Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay, so it's the end of a calendar year coming up, and I like to spend some time reflecting. I also, as you know, just left the seat of president, so where I was for a year. So we started 2025 knowing it might be a year of upheaval and change. And indeed, there have been many moments this year where federal policy has scared us or impacted us. Cancellation of our district's federal mental health grant, for which we're continuing to fight for reinstatement. Announcements that certain streams of funding were being cut, which didn't always happen. And eventually, staff and departments within the Department of Education itself being cut. Many here in our CVUSD community have been deeply impacted by immigration policy, with families losing members to deportation or detainment, or simply living with fear day by day. Locally, 2025 began with the terrible fires in the Palisades and Altadena areas. With the Conejo Valley experiencing major power outages due to the winds, district leadership had to pivot and innovate in order to figure out how to keep schools open, wanting to keep schedules as routine as possible for students and families. That also meant regular communication and coordination with other local agencies and leaders. So I started with the challenges, but this district, again, this year has proven it can face difficult moments and work through them. Time and time again, I have seen how CVUSD staff, no matter your title or your work site, jump into action, pivot to find new solutions, and advocate fiercely for students and schools. And while it's easy to focus on the stressful stuff, we have to remind ourselves of how we've met the challenges and celebrate the wonderful successes happening every day across the CVUSD community. So I took some time this weekend to scroll through the news updates of 2025, so beautifully communicated by the CVUSD Communications Department. Thank you, Kim Gold, as well as my own social media posts and photos. Some of our big flashy wins included achievements such as CVHS again achieving model continuation high school status, Banyan and Wildwood being named as 2025 California Distinguished Schools, the district earning the 2025 Model School Attendance Review Board recipient distinction, and all three comprehensive high schools recognized as 2025 National Banner Unified Champion Schools. And there's so many more things. And this does not include the awards and accolades garnered by so many educators and students across the district for various accomplishments in various areas. One example that I think about is Westlake High School's Jennifer Boyd, who was named one of the 5 outstanding math and science teachers from California as finalists in the 2025 Presidential Awards for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. I also think about Dr. Craven, who was here earlier today from Aspen, being honored by the Autism Society of Ventura County for his work. For the Board of Education, the work has been profound and busy, both in and out of the boardroom. Some highlights for 2025. We continue to explore and understand how to best address the usage of cell phones in schools, culminating in an updated and more restrictive cell phone policy that began implementation this fall. In 2026, we will be having some related conversations around tech and AI. We continued our discussions as a board around governance, culminating in producing the board's first governance handbook, not only to help us as a board, but to help the community better understand our role and how we work. As part of this process, a district mission statement was formally adopted. Woohoo. Go read it. It's great. We heard concerns about sexual harassment reporting policies and took immediate action to strengthen these processes as well as more education for students and staff. A staff-initiated proposal at the beginning of 2025 for a new way of honoring academic achievement at graduation ultimately led to the board approving a significantly revised policy. We navigated some of the challenges I listed earlier, and we had some deep discussions around budget priorities, future facility needs, and more. Board members have attended so many advisory council meetings, school events, other committee meetings, such as Measure I, health benefits, CTE advisory, and many more. We've interfaced with local leaders from other agencies and attended community events as we understand the importance of working together to ensure our community as a whole stays strong and unified. And we heard from so many of you, staff, students, families, community members, sometimes gratitude, but also concerns or input on what you'd like to see. Sometimes an email response or direction to a staff member is enough, and sometimes it takes more than that to provide support or information that's needed. All of that input helps to inform our work in all areas. So to my colleagues on the board, Superintendent McLaughlin, my partner in crime, and cabinet members, I just want to say it's been an honor, it is an honor to see up close and personal every day your hard work, your dedication to and love for CVUSD students and schools, and for all of the staff and volunteers here in this district. Your work inspires me to continue to do better and serve better. And as CVUSD staff, I give the same sentiments. The work you do day in and day out continuously inspires me to do this work as a trustee and to become a better trustee. And that is it for me. That's it for 2025, and Happy New Year, everybody. And again, sorry for being so long, but you know.
Thank you, Trustee Powell. Trustee Gill.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm really grateful for a very, very strong 25 portion of the 25-26 school year. The number of accomplishments, many of which we celebrated in this boardroom, but there were very many more in academics, in arts, in sports, in activities, really makes me proud and very, very grateful. So as we get to the quiet hinge point in the year, I wish everyone restful, calm, joyful winter break, and look forward to seeing you all back, rejuvenated, ready for a great spring. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Trustee Goldberg.
So I'm going to start with a PSA and then go to the theme of my comments this evening. CDAC is in the midst of a drive for the Conejo closet for items that are I should have whatever specifically tailored to students with disabilities, and that are that would be very adaptive and useful. So for anybody so inclined, I know that the flyer says that they were, the drive was from December 8th through 12th, but I happen to know on good authority that they're still accepting donations. There's an Amazon and a Target wish list for those inclined. Things that they're looking for are sensory-friendly clothing, adaptive clothing, jackets, backpacks, sweatshirts, fidgets, et cetera, et cetera. Please, in this season of giving, please consider helping CDAC out, helping the Conejo Closet out, because really we're just helping our neighbors and our friends. And I will move into my gratitude portion. We'll start with CDAC. Thank you for taking this on. Thank you for all you do for our students with disabilities and everyone else in the district. You truly lead the way for our parents to parent advisory groups and our wonderful role models. I'd like to thank the student reporters. I am grateful that they came to use their voice. The student public commenters. I'm also grateful to the student reporters. I am always grateful to the student reporters. And I want to congratulate and thank all the inclusion heroes and athletes who were here today. I have tremendous gratitude for former President Powell, who is, as you saw earlier, a very reflective and compassionate listener and critical thinker. She's a wonderful problem solver and a steady hand, and I thank you for your leadership this past year. Gratitude continues with and for Liz Blake and her amazing orchestra program. I was honored when she asked for a favor. It was really easy to do for me, but what started out as a favor for her was really the greatest gift of this holiday season. Standing up narrating the Christmas Carol was a tremendous gift that I really, really needed. Being surrounded by that beautiful music and of those talented students transported me to the holiday realm, which I really needed, and I appreciate that. The next gratitude goes to Trustee Kearns, because we got to spend the evening at Future Lancer Night, as he mentioned earlier. And not only did I get to see Future Lancer Night through his eyes, I got to watch him in action. If you haven't ever seen him navigate the campus, he is engaging, he is helpful, he was poised and connective, and his warmth radiated. You could tell, and he knew everybody, and they knew him. And he was you are a tremendous role model for our students and for us. So thank you very much for sharing that evening with me. And also, Future Lancer Night, the gratitude for that custodial staff is unbelievable, led by Josh Martinez. They flipped the gym in a matter of minutes. They turned it from a concert / assembly venue into TO has everything for everyone fair. You got to see lots of offerings of lots of clubs, and it was really the work of that custodial staff. They were incredible, and I want to thank them for that. And finally, I just want to say happy holidays, happy New Year, and please remember that the holidays, while joyful, may be difficult time for many. Put your phone down, please, and give people the gift of your presence. Reach out, smile, be a comfort, a shoulder. You never know who needs you. Breathe, hug, laugh, repeat, and I'll go with laugh again. Thank you and a happy New Year.
Thank you, Trustee Goldberg. Trustee Gorbach.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to congratulate outgoing President Powell for your leadership, your organization, your heartfelt leadership this past year. Congratulations to Trustee Sylvester for your presidential election today. So thank you. Congratulations, of course, to the honored athletes that we had at the beginning of the meeting. It's great that we honor our athletes, and it's great that our athletes are so, I won't say superior because that sounds like I'm competing, but yeah, I am. That our athletes are, yeah, we are superior. Congratulations also, besides to our honored athletes, our unified banner at Newbury Park High School. They received that. That was a fantastic, from the Special Olympic Committee. That was a special presentation. That was a lot of fun. Congratulations again, more congratulations to our inclusion heroes. To me, that's what Conejo Valley Unified stands for, is the inclusion that we speak for everybody. Welcome, congratulations, I guess, again, to our public speakers. I get a special thrill out of, especially when our students become public speakers. That was awesome, and I hope that more students benefit from that, get inspired by that, and speak up. Besides honoring, well, sorry about this, how pathetic I must look. Besides a wellness report, I failed. Our performing art, besides honoring our athletes, our performing arts programs are incredible. I went to a lot of them in the last 2 weeks, and especially, I'll plug the dance programs that I went to. Our dancers at all of our schools, not only their movement of their whole bodies, but especially the duets, they play their songs, their eyes, their facial expressions, so sincere and so engaging. I just want to congratulate them on that. Congratulations, anytime I see jazz on a performance option to go to, that's an automatic. So our jazz bands, again, I went to Kalina's middle school as well as some high school ones, fantastic. I mentioned before under committee reports, DLI and leadership. So I went to Conejo Academy of DLI and leadership. To see these second, third, and fourth graders talk about writing grants for this and writing grants for that, I was afraid to do that when I was in college. And to see their familiarity, excuse me, to see their familiarity with the term writing grants and asking for things, that's combined, and the fact that they presented to the assembly that was gathered in both English and Spanish, that was just, the combination is amazing. And I am so thrilled, as I said a few minutes ago, that we are expanding that to go to a middle school so that these kids can continue to work their skills. And also, as far as expanding programs, I'm excited about the fact that the IB program is becoming district-wide now, from kindergarten, from pre-K, TK, all the way up to high school, with the expansion of doing this at Sequoia. Overall, I just want to thank everybody on the board. Dr. McLaughlin, thank you for being a partner with us and being who you are. And happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. To all who celebrate other holidays that I may not be mentioning, just because I don't know them, and Happy New Year to everybody, and come back healthy. Let me try that. Come back healthy and happy and safe, and we'll see you in 26. Thank you.
All right, I am incredibly cognizant of the fact that not a lot stands between everybody and break, so I will keep my comments very short. I do want to emphasize one thing about the Inclusion Heroes. It was mentioned, the district received over 140 applications or nominations. That's incredible. And I'm sure it was incredibly difficult to pick the 10. But the fact that so many were recognized, I think, is a real testament that we are doing something incredibly right here, especially in terms of inclusion. So bravo to everybody. I too need to offer my appreciation and deep gratitude to our outgoing, I guess, former president, Dr. Powell. You did a great job leading us this past year. You kept us focused and on task, which is not always easy throughout all of our meetings. You led always with poise and professionalism. So I want to thank you for your service, leading the board, your true dedication to this district, and your commitment to the students of CVUSD. So thank you. I hope everyone enjoys their holiday break, whether you're resting or whether you're climbing the Alps or whatever you're doing, and we will see you back in 2026. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Dr. McLaughlin.
Just a quick reflection on the first half of really the school year is over with secondary schools finishing up first semester, and when we come back they will be into second semester, so it just shows that how quick one semester will go, and second semester will go by quicker as we plan for the following year as well. So there's a lot going on for the first half of the year, and a lot will be taking place as we move forward. And with that, I hope everyone has a safe holiday season. Spend time with family and friends if you get the opportunity. And I like the idea of putting down your cell phone every once in a while. I struggle with that, so maybe I'll work on it. So with that, I hope everyone has a safe holiday.
All right, thank you. We are now at section 6, which is adjournment. We are at 6A, future board topics. Are any board members interested at this point adding topics for future discussion? I'm looking around. I don't see anything. Okay, great. Seeing no other agenda items, the meeting is adjourned at 8:53 p.m. Good night, everybody.